The 2026 Iran conflict escalated dramatically when the United States and Israel launched Operation Epic Fury on 28 February 2026, a massive strike campaign against Iranian targets. In the first days of the operation, several Iranian warships and naval assets were targeted both at sea and while docked at key naval bases. Satellite imagery, military briefings, and defense reports have gradually revealed the scale of these losses. Here is a breakdown of the Iranian naval vessels that have been confirmed destroyed so far. The Iris Naghdi. This was a Bayandor-class patrol frigate tasked with coastal patrol, maritime surveillance, and the protection of Iranian naval installations. On 28 February 2026, the opening day of the conflict, Naghdi was stationed at the Konarak naval base. During the first wave of U.S. strikes against Iranian military infrastructure, American forces targeted several vessels docked at the facility. Naghdi was destroyed at her mooring. Satellite imagery and defense analysis later confirmed heavy damage to ships along the naval pier. The Iris Bayandor. This was another Bayandor-class patrol frigate primarily used for coastal defense, surveillance, and routine patrol missions along Iran's southern maritime borders. On 28 February 2026, Bayandor was docked at the Konarak naval facility when U.S. forces launched strikes against Iranian naval infrastructure. The attack hit the ship while she was still moored at the pier. Reports indicate that Bayandor sank at her berth following the strike, alongside Naghdi. Defense monitoring organizations tracking the conflict confirmed the destruction through imagery and strike reports. The Iris Sahand. Iris Sahand was a Mach-class guided missile frigate designed for multi-role naval warfare. She served as one of Iran's most advanced domestically built surface combatants and carried cruise missiles, naval guns, and air defense systems. During the first phase of the U.S.-Israeli campaign against Iran, Sahand became one of the earliest major naval targets. She was destroyed in the February 2026 during strikes on Iranian naval infrastructure. Western defense briefings and military assessments later reported the ship's loss. The Iris Shahid Bagheri. This was a converted merchant vessel turned drone carrier commissioned in February 2025 to expand Iran's ability to launch unmanned aerial vehicles from sea. During the opening phase of the U.S. campaign against Iranian military infrastructure, the vessel became a priority target. U.S. Central Command CENTCOM confirmed that American forces sank Shahid Bagheri in the early days of the strikes in late February 2026. The Iris Jamaran. The Iris Jamaran represented Iran's first domestically built major warship program and symbolized the country's push for naval self-reliance. On 1 March 2026, U.S. forces targeted the ship while it was docked at a pier in Shah near the Konarak naval basin. The strike occurred during the early stage of the broader campaign against Iranian military assets. U.S. Central Command CENTCOM later confirmed the vessel had been struck and was sinking into the Gulf of Oman. Satellite imagery released afterwards showed smoke rising from the naval wharf where the ship had been stationed. The Iris Sabalan. This was an Alvand-class frigate, and her role was long-range patrol, anti-ship warfare, and escort missions for Iranian naval operations in the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. During the U.S.-Israeli air campaign, satellite imagery revealed that an Alvand-class frigate at Konarak port had been struck. Analysts believe the damaged vessel was Sabalan, although definitive confirmation of the exact ship has remained limited. The strike likely occurred around 1 March 2026 during the early wave of attacks on Iranian naval bases. Images showed heavy smoke rising from the warship while she remained pierside. The Iris Zagros. This was a recently introduced Iranian naval vessel intended to strengthen maritime security and surveillance operations. Reports emerged that Zagros had been sunk. Defense monitoring groups and analysts tracking the conflict noted the vessel's destruction among the expanding list of Iranian naval losses. The sinking was believed to have occurred in early March 2026 during strikes on naval facilities and ships. The Iris Makran. This was the largest ship in the Iranian Navy, functioning as a forward base and logistics support vessel, capable of sustaining naval operations far from Iran's coast. During the early stages of the strikes against Iranian military infrastructure, satellite imagery showed heavy smoke rising from Makran while she was in port. The images suggested that the ship had been struck during attacks on Iranian naval facilities. Although reports indicated severe damage, the full extent of the destruction was initially unclear. The Shahid Soleimani. The ship was a lead ship of the Shahid Soleimani class corvette, designed for fast missile attacks against enemy warships. During the escalation of Operation Epic Fury, the vessel had become a priority target for U.S. naval forces. On 3 March 2026, United States forces reportedly destroyed Iris Shahid Soleimani during precision strikes against Iranian naval units. The destruction was reported by defense sources monitoring the campaign against Iran's naval assets. The Iris Fateh. This was an indigenously built Iranian diesel-electric submarine designed for coastal defense, covert patrols, and torpedo attacks against enemy ships. Because of its stealth capability, Fateh was considered a high-value naval asset during the conflict. On 3 March 2026, CENTCOM released a video on X, confirming the submarine had been sunk during the U.S. military campaign. The strike was described as a precision operation targeting Iranian naval capabilities. The Iris Dena. This was another Maj-class missile frigate. She was one of the newest Iranian Navy warships and had reportedly around 180 personnel on board during her final deployment. The ship was opening in international waters Sri Lanka, likely attempting to remain far from Iranian ports during the escalating conflict. On the night between 3rd to 4th March 2026, Dena reportedly came under attack from a U.S. submarine, which struck the vessel during the naval campaign. Reports of the ship in distress first emerged from Sri Lankan maritime monitoring sources, before Western officials confirmed the strike. The Iris Shahid Sayyad Shirazi. This was the Shahid Soleimani-class missile catamaran corvette, designed for high-speed missile strikes and asymmetric naval warfare. On 4th March 2026, the vessel was struck during the continuing U.S. strikes against Iranian naval assets. Initial reports stated the ship was burning at sea but still afloat, with visible fire and smoke coming from the hull. Later, during a public address, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth stated that American forces had sunk Iran's newest warship, referring to Shahid Sayyad Shirazi, common-class fast attack craft. These are missile-armed boats designed for high-speed coastal combat and hit-and-run attacks against larger warships. During the strikes on Iranian naval bases, reports indicated that several common-class craft were hit while stationed near naval piers. Satellite imagery can confirm damage to dock areas where these vessels are typically based. The attack likely occurred during the first days of conflict in early March 2026. Destroying these boats reduced Iran's ability to conduct missile attacks against regional naval forces. So far, a total of around 17 Iranian naval vessels have been destroyed in the ongoing conflict, including major warships, a submarine, and multiple vessels of the common-class fast attack craft. As the situation continues to evolve and more information becomes available, the number of confirmed losses could change. We will continue to monitor developments closely and provide updates as new details emerge. Stay tuned for further reports.